Well, the San Francisco 49ers got off to a bit of a rough start this season, but since Week 8, they've played much better and have put themselves in a position to make a playoff run. But first, they would have to get past the Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Shanahan's old team, and a team that beat the 49ers on this very field just 2 years ago. Let's take a look at the film. Now, eagle-eyed viewers will notice that we're going to look at the very first play, the opening kickoff. And that's really not a good sign that we're taking a look at this. This should be a pretty standard play, but it's become apparent that a change is probably going to be taking place in the offseason. Special teams coach Richard Hightower and the special teams unit have consistently disappointed basically during Shanahan's entire tenure with the 49ers, all 5 years. And here, they fumble the opening kickoff. Not a good way to start. On first down, safety Marcel Harris is in a great position to corral Cordarrelle Patterson. Not an easy thing to do. It looks like Patterson has a cutback lane though, but check out the vision of Eric Armstead, who easily sheds his block and makes a tackle. On second down, Matt Ryan could have taken a shot to Sharp, it appears here. He might have had just a bit of a window to at least take a shot at the end zone. Instead, he takes the easy, wide-open underneath throw to Kyle Pitts. An understandable decision. Now, the 49ers seem to be in good position here to make the tackle. Now, I am a little disappointed with Josh Norman on this play. I felt like he could have rallied to the ball a little bit better, maybe prevented Pitts from picking up that first down. Or maybe I'm just being too nitpicky about it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. On first down, the Falcons tossed to Patterson, who appears to get into the end zone. But upon further review, the replay officials ruled that he was short. I don't really have a clear angle of this to show you, either from the All-22 or the telecast, which is a little bit frustrating. You guys know how I feel about replay officials this year, and this play was ruled a touchdown on the field. So I'm a little curious why they overturned it. In any event, it brings up second down. Here the Falcons try a throw to the other tight end, Lee Smith. But the defender is all over him, and it's not really a good throw by Ryan. The pass is incomplete, and Atlanta will move on to third down. On third down, the 49er defense reads the motion of fullback Keith Smith. Your odds of making the playoffs go up significantly if you have a fullback on your roster. That's a true statistic. Now, that doesn't mean that just having a fullback means you'll make the playoffs. It means that teams that are really good, that legitimately feel they have a shot at the playoffs, will spend that extra money to sign a good fullback for just these types of situations. Now, as I said, the Niner defense was reacting very aggressively to this. And what the Niners like to do is bring someone around on the backside the other way and try to get an easy touchdown. The Falcons could have done this with Kyle Pitts. Instead, they opt for a more traditional running play. And this time, there is absolutely no doubt Cordarrelle Patterson is stopped short of the goal line, bringing up 4th and goal. And on 4th down, the Falcons think, well, maybe we should have thrown it to Pitts, and they call a play for him here. Sharp will push his man back and try to get some space for Kyle Pitts, but he doesn't quite get enough. And check out the play of Jaquiski Tartt, who sees the play, knows what's coming, avoids that block, and goes over and swats down that football and says, no, sir. Great play by Jaquiski Tartt. Now the 49ers take over, but they're backed up. And they're unable to get anything going on offense, so they're going to have to punt from inside their own 10-yard line. And as we've discussed on this channel before, if you have to punt inside your own 10, your opponent is statistically likely to score on their next drive. It makes sense, right? You punt, and you gain a bunch of yardage, but they still only need 1 or 2 first downs to get into field goal range, and that's exactly what happens here. The Falcons tack on a field goal, and they go on the board first, 3-0. After the Falcons score, they're required to kick off to the 49ers. And again, I'm showing you a kickoff because, again, Jamichael Hasty can't handle this football. Now, that's a live ball. Either team can grab it. So, yeah, this is an area of concern for the 49ers. Eventually, he's able to bring that ball in and go out of bounds. But look where they're at, the 9-yard line. The 49ers are going to start backed up again. But when you're having problems in the kitchen, George Kittle is the special sauce. And here, you can clearly see the 49ers have 2 blockers and the Falcons have 2 defenders. That's not good math for the Falcons. And George Kittle takes this ball 25 yards down the field. This next play is, well, an interesting one because it shows sort of the highs and lows of Garoppolo all in one play. You can clearly see that he is winding up to throw a pass here, as well he should. He's got a man coming wide open deep down the field. But then he pulls back, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're uncomfortable with a throw as a quarterback, don't throw it. That's how you get into trouble, right? But now the defense is bearing down on Garoppolo. He's staring a defender right in the face, and now he's in big trouble. And he sort of holds his arm up and loops this ball over to Jeff Wilson Jr., which looks like a great play. I mean, wow, that was so awesome, but it was a very risky play. Take a look at this replay. And this is also when Garoppolo gets into trouble, when he tries to do a little bit too much. Nevertheless, the play does keep the drive going for the 49ers. As viewers of this channel know, one of the strengths of Kyle Shanahan's offense is that it puts defenders into conflict. And here, Deion Jones does a pretty good job of carrying George Kittle through the zone. But Kyle Juszczyk eventually comes open underneath. So he turns Kittle over to Hawkins. Now, the 49ers also run Brandon Aiyuk in the Hawkins area. Hawkins doesn't get too distracted by that, but he does give Kittle a lot of space here. He doesn't want to get beat deep. And this would be a very good throw from Jimmy Garoppolo. What do you need to throw the ball deep? Time. Moving along, I think on this play, Tom Compton forgot what the play call was. Check out Dante Fowler getting ready to rush the quarterback. But Tom Compton completely turns him loose and is instead mesmerized by the blitzing linebacker, Olukin. I think he thought he was going to have help from Jamichael Hasty on this play. But Jamichael Hasty is running a pass route. In the future, I would like to see Tom Compton pick up the defensive end first instead of the linebacker. That would give Garoppolo an extra split second to get rid of this ball because he barely got rid of it as it is. Now check out the body language of Olukin. It's pretty clear that he's either getting ready to blitz or maybe he's going to fake the blitz, but it's worth noting that Garoppolo could have called a blocking audible here. Instead, he knew that Jamichael Hasty was the hot read, and if the Falcons did send a blitz, he could get the ball out that way. But maybe a blocking audible would have been better because he could have gotten the ball further downfield to another receiver. Let's go back to the snap and see if that was the case. Now it's pretty clear the coverage on the back end for the Falcons was really good here. There was nowhere else to go with the football, so maybe it wouldn't have made a difference. Nevertheless, I'm going to maintain that Garoppolo should have called a blocking audible on this play. And the reason is because it's third down. Your hot read isn't going to be as effective on third down if they're able to stop the guy for only a few yards, which is exactly what happened. The 49ers end up being forced to settle for a field goal. Now, I'm not saying they would have scored had Garoppolo called the audible, but they might have had a better chance at it. In any event, the score is tied 3-3. Let's move ahead to the second quarter. Here, the 49ers put a man in motion, and no one from the Falcon goes with him. That's a pretty good indicator that the Falcons are going to be in a zone. They do run Kyle Juszczyk out of the backfield, and this could potentially be a big play for the 49ers now, because what they intend to do is run two players into the same area. And watch Brandon Aiyuk. He gets pretty excited here. In fact, he gets a little too excited and he false starts. But the Niners really liked that look that the defense was giving him. So they come out the next play and they figure, hey, what the heck, let's try to line up in the same formation and see if we get that same look. And sure enough, they do. This is a great route by Aiyuk because he kind of slow plays it at first. Watch this. And then he hits the Jets and Garoppolo is right there with the football. And Brandon Aiyuk takes this thing for a 36-yard gain. Wow. Excellent protection and excellent footwork from Garoppolo. The back foot hits, and that is a perfect pass. Also notice Deebo blocking downfield. Excellent execution from the 49ers offense on that play. Let's take a look at the 49ers ground game. Here, they don't do anything fancy with their blocking. They just put a hat on a hat, with Tom Compton available to come pick off a Lucan. It does look like Deion Jones might be able to string this play out to the sideline. But he slows down and takes a peek inside just for a second, and that allows Jeff Wilson Jr. to make it to the corner. Now Deion Jones is a pretty good linebacker. Why did he do that? Let's go back to the snap. And here we get a real good look. There is a hole there, and Jones does take a step there just to make sure to take that hole away from Wilson Jr. But Wilson was never going there, and you can see right there he gets away from him. That was the difference in the play. And as we'll see later, it would end up being a long day for the Falcons on the ground. Here the 49ers do more of the same. Or so the Falcons think. It sure looks as if George Kittle is going to go pick off Deion Jones, and Kyle Juszczyk is going to pick off Steven Means so that Jeff Wilson Jr. can go to the outside. Now, Steven Means is not related to Natron Means, but his dad did play football at the University of Buffalo, and he says, I know what the 49ers are doing here, and he sets up to the outside. So when the 49ers hand the ball off directly to Kyle Juszczyk, he's in the end zone before any of the Falcons even realize what happened. Robbie Gould kicks the extra point, and the 49ers go up 10-3. And their offense is starting to roll a little bit. And here the defense delivers in a big way. We can see that all the receivers for Atlanta are covered. To make matters worse, Arden Key has broken free of his man and takes down Matt Ryan, knocking the Falcons out of field goal range. Big play by the Niners defense. Boom! He's going to feel that one tomorrow. Now you guys aren't going to believe this, but watch on the side here as a flag comes flying in as Arden Key is called for what pundits, analysts, and former players are calling the worst roughing the passer call of all time. An unbelievably bad call by the officials. It gives the Falcons 15 yards and an automatic first down. The Falcons take advantage immediately, and there's some really exciting, new, young, and talented wide receivers in the NFL, and the Falcons have one in Russell Gage. And here, Ambry Thomas is on him. He's played better in recent weeks, but Russell Gage gets the better of him here, and it's a touchdown for Atlanta. Now right here you can see why the 49er coaches are so excited about Ambry Thomas. He is in perfect position to pick this ball off, but Gage takes the ball away from him. Excellent news for 49er fans. A little time in the weight room and that problem will be solved, and the 49ers may have found themselves a corner for the future, something they desperately need. Now, after the penalty, the Falcons score immediately, making the score tied at 10-10. That was a huge penalty, and I can't emphasize enough how bad of a call that was, and it led directly to a touchdown. So the 49er offense has to go right back to work. Now here Deion Jones takes a step in that direction because that's the direction Jeff Wilson Jr. is going in. It looks like a handoff to him, but oops, they accidentally left one of the best receivers in the NFL uncovered. Another nice throw by Garoppolo, who was slinging it. And let's take a look back at the Cincinnati Bengals game. Remember this back shoulder fade to Jennings? What a beautiful pass that was. Well, here the 49ers are getting ready to do it again. This time it's to Brandon Aiyuk. Garoppolo sees the defender's back is turned and throws the ball to the back shoulder of Aiyuk. Now, at this point, Moreau realizes he's been beaten badly, and he pulls Aiyuk down to prevent the completion. But you see the flag come out, that's pass interference, and the 49ers get an automatic first down at the spot of the foul. The 49ers finish off the drive in the deadliest of ways, using what has become a terrifying sight for defenses, Deebo Samuel lined up in the backfield. Let's go back to the snap. Jeff Wilson Jr. goes to the right, and Deebo Samuel takes a step in that direction, and virtually the entire Falcons defense follows him. But check out Dan Brunskill and George Kittle coming around the other way. They set the blocks, and Deebo Samuel runs into the hole. But now look at Deion Jones. This play happens so quickly, Brunskill isn't even on him, and Deebo already has a lane he's already beaten. So he sticks out his leg to try to trip Deebo Samuel. This would be an illegal play. Now, maybe he's trying to do too much. Maybe he's thinking the officials won't see it, and the officials don't always see it. Kind of a Bush League move. I was a little surprised to see this on the film. I didn't notice it during the game. I did say Deion Jones was a good linebacker, right? I wonder what I base that opinion on. Anyway, Robbie Gould kicks the extra point. The 49ers go up 17-10. They stay a step ahead of the Falcons. Let's move ahead to the third quarter. The 49er pass rush continues to harass Matt Ryan. But check out the defensive backs. They're doing a great job of covering all the receivers for the Falcons. Now, if you give a quarterback enough time, eventually he'll find somebody open. But if you give Nick Bosa enough time, eventually he'll get to the quarterback. And here, he gets a pretty cool assist from Eric Armstead, who takes out the tackle for him. And Matt Ryan fumbles the football, and it's recovered by the 49ers. Running for his life, this ball just slips out of Matt Ryan's hand, and it's recovered by Fred Warner. When have we ever seen a ball slip out of a quarterback's hand like that? But that's neither here nor there. Now the Falcons defense got cooked on the ground in the first half, so here, with an apparent handoff to Jeff Wilson Jr., they sell out to stop the run, leaving Deebo Samuel wide open on the run-pass option. Now the run-pass option is a running play, but if the quarterback sees that the receiver is open, he has the ability to throw him that ball real quickly if he wants to. Here's the thing about RPOs, is the offensive line is blocking as if it's a running play. You can see Trent Williams doing it here. So that means there isn't ordinary pass protection, and watch Garoppolo stand in here and take this hit and deliver the football. Very impressive. And on the back end of this play, the Falcons are in position to deliver another hit. A.J. Terrell is in perfect position on Deebo Samuel here. And look what Deebo Samuel does to that poor tackler. His mouthpiece goes flying. Wow. Plays like that are how Deebo got his nickname, the dude is a bully. Boom. So far, Atlanta has allowed the 49ers to carve them up on the ground, especially in the red zone, where they've already scored 2 touchdowns today. And here is more of the same. Maybe they're mindful of another handoff of Kyle Juszczyk. Watch these 2 defenders kind of move off to the side here. George Kittle and Charlie Warner block to the inside. And again, maybe they see the motion of Dan Brunskill. These defenders kind of take themselves out of the play, allowing Jeff Wilson Jr. to just run straight up the middle. One last thing. Quarterbacks, after they hand the ball off, are supposed to fake as if they're dropping back to pass. It's called carrying out their fakes. And Garoppolo does an excellent job of that here. And look at the safety looking right at him. This allows Jeff Wilson Jr. to run to the end zone untouched before he realizes what's happening. Look at all the Falcons players standing around, wondering how this could be happening to them. But the Falcons do get the ball back, and take a look at the 49ers defensive line. Samson Ebukam, Kevin Givens, DJ Jones, and Arden Key. No Nick Bosa, so if you're going to take a deep shot, now would be the time. And that is a big play for the Falcons. Let's take another look. Olamide Zaccheaus is the one who gets open on this play. Now, Jimmy Ward is the safety. He's supposed to not let anything get behind him. I would like to see him drop back deep here to take away this deep shot to Zaccheaus. Instead, he kind of gets focused in on the route of Russell Gage underneath. But wouldn't it be better to give up that route rather than the bomb to Zaccheaus? So with the Falcons trailing by 2 touchdowns now, this sets up a huge 3rd and goal. Now the 49ers know that Atlanta has to go to the end zone, so they drop everybody back here. But there is going to be a window open for Sharp, and Matt Ryan sees him. It appears as if the 49ers may not be able to defend this play, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. And Arden Key again gets a big hit on Matt Ryan and saves this play. Incomplete pass. Key gets a great burst off the line and shows some nice handwork here as he blows by his blocker. Now the Falcons do have an excellent kicker in Younghoe Koo, so they take the field goal here, but at 24-13, that was a big missed opportunity for Atlanta. And here, I'd like to take a minute to praise Kyle Shanahan. I happen to think he's an excellent coach. And I always say I'm going to let Kyle coach the team, but that hasn't really stopped me from criticizing him at times. But here, I think he does the real prudent thing. In the past, he might try to force this by throwing a couple passes. Let's keep it going, right? That's sort of the natural temptation. But his ground game has been carving up the Falcons all game long, and he does something that made him successful in the NFC Championship game. He stuck with the run. The 49ers have 4 big consecutive run plays to Jeff Wilson Jr. and JaMycal Hasty, and they march right down the field and put themselves in position to get another big score in the 3rd quarter. Facing a 3rd and goal, the Falcons do what the 49ers did. They drop everybody back into the end zone. Just kidding. That would be logical. Instead, they go for an all-out blitz here, leaving the wide receivers one-on-one, and specifically, Jauan Jennings. The defender sets up to take the inside away, so Jennings goes to the outside. We saw Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison do this for years and years, and Garoppolo and Jennings make the play happen here. Touchdown, San Francisco. The 49ers put Brandon Aiyuk in motion, and all the cheerleaders go with him. All jokes aside, Jauan Jennings continues to cement his status in that 3rd wide receiver position for the 49ers. Robbie Gould makes it a blowout, 31-13. But was that the final nail in the coffin? Here Atlanta has Kyle Pitts one-on-one against Ambry Thomas. I would like to see the 49ers give him some help here. But they haven't. And if you're Atlanta, of course you're going to attack the rookie. And it's a big play to Kyle Pitts. Jaquiski Tartt comes over and makes the tackle, but not before the damage is done. What do you need to throw the ball deep? Time. Notice again Nick Bosa is not on the field. Turns out he took a big hit and got evaluated in the medical tent, but he would be okay. And look at this pass by Matt Ryan. What a dime that was. Wow. Maybe the old man does still have it. The play puts the Falcons in position to go for it on 4th and goal. Now there's 10 minutes left in the game, but down 18 points, they really felt like they needed to score a touchdown here, not a field goal. Now I promised you guys Nick Bosa was okay, and here he is. In fact, he makes the key play on this 4th down. Watch as he uses this spin move to get off the block of Russell Gage. Now Olamide Zaccheaus, he doesn't just catch bombs, he does a nice job of picking Bosa up here. But that frees Jimmy Ward, and he knifes into the backfield and tackles Patterson before he can get the 1st down, and the 49ers have their 2nd goal line stand in this game. But wait, there's more. Let's move ahead, and the Falcons are again threatening at the 49ers goal line. They're facing 3rd and goal, and there's only 5:57 left in the game at this point. But stranger things have happened in the NFL, so the 49ers would like to keep the Falcons out of the end zone here. And the defensive coverage is great. So is the pass rush. Check out Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead about to close in on Matt Ryan with those pincer movements. Now Matt Ryan steps up in the pocket, and maybe he has Kyle Pitts open here, but his momentum is carrying forward. He's already scrambling at this point. I don't even know if he sees Pitts for sure. And it looks like he has a lane to the end zone. When I saw this live, I thought he was going to score. And Jaquiski Tartt says, "No, sir," and lays a big hit on Matt Ryan. The 49ers emphatically deny Atlanta on 3rd down. So that brings up 4th down, and a turnover on downs here will pretty much officially win the game for the 49ers. Matt Ryan throws a bad pass, Jaquiski Tartt lays a big hit, and that's all she wrote. Let's take one more look at this though. Now it does appear that Josh Norman may have been interfering with Christian Blake here. Now he lets him go, but it definitely disrupts the timing of the route, and that could be why the pass looks so errant for Matt Ryan. But I think even if it was a clean route and a clean pass, I don't know for sure if Blake hangs on to this football with Jaquiski Tartt ready to lay the wood like that. It's a blowout win for the Niners. It gets them one step closer to the playoffs, and the 49ers exercise some demons a little bit. Shanahan gets that win over his old team. Matt Ryan, while he had some good moments, definitely showed his age a little bit in my opinion, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. We know what he's done in this league. Yeah, it can be fun to clown certain players once in a while. Oh, he's not good or whatever. Realistically, I think if we're being objective and honest with ourselves, we can say that there's been times when Matt Ryan's been very good in this league. And respectfully, that time has passed him by. Now, the Falcons had a chance to take a quarterback in the draft. They could have had Mac Jones. Instead, they took Kyle Pitts without thinking maybe about who was going to be throwing Pitts the football. Next year's draft class isn't so great for quarterbacks, so the Falcons are in a little bit of a bind here. I understand why they took Pitts. The guy looks awesome. You saw the film. Jimmy G, on the other hand, played much better for the 49ers in this game. I think this was possibly his best game of the season, with exception of that one play where he tried to do a little too much. He missed Deebo Samuel wide open over the middle, and then he got in trouble and tried to get it to Jeff Wilson Jr., which he did, but in a risky way. That was kind of his one negative play of the game, if you want to consider that a negative play. Other than that, he kind of played within himself. He made the key throws he needed to make. He hit the wide open guys. And when he is on, he's on. Now, spoiler alert, this video was produced after Thursday Night Football, that Tennessee Titans game. So we kind of know how this story is going to end for Garoppolo. But while it may be unpleasant to look at the film from that game, I still think it's important. There was a lot of interesting football situations that happened that we should take a look at. For example, the defense dominating on 1st and 2nd down, only to get burned on 3rd and long over and over again. Also some interesting decisions by Kyle Shanahan in that game too. But I want to assure everybody, the priority next week will be Trey Lance's start against the Houston Texans. I know how excited everyone is to finally see the rookie phenom, what we think is a phenom, in action. Shanahan says he's been getting better and better every week, and now we're going to get to see for ourselves. See it on the field. I'm excited for it. All right, that'll do it for this week. Folks, it takes a long time to make a video like this. If you could give me just 2 seconds and hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. All right, it's Niners and Texans, and I will make that Niners and Titans video for you guys too. There's a lot to look forward to. Hit that subscribe button so you know when these videos come out, and I will see you guys then.